Hey everyone, Adam and Oscar here from WebSan, and we want to talk about what we feel is coming in the AI space over the next year in 2026. Now, we'll start from 2025, where we are today, and that was the year that the frontier firm came to be. This is a term that's been heavily used by Microsoft, and it speaks to firms that deeply embed AI across the organization, using it to scale faster, innovate, and gain that competitive advantage. So these are the forward-thinking firms that are really reinventing their processes, and that's really our starting point as we look at what's going to come ahead, because a lot of what's coming ahead is really the downstream impact of those firms really deeply investing in AI and what you'll start to see as a result. So, Oscar, let's take us through the first little bit here.
Thank you, Adam. Going into 2026, one of the things that we can definitely expect is Microsoft to continue pushing their citizen developer initiatives. And with these, we have copilots, we have agents, and we have AI teaching people how to build more AI. So with these, teams should focus on orchestration rather than traditional coding skills. And I'm going to tell you why in the next slide. It is often thought that bigger models are always going to yield better results. However, this is not always the case. And with the latest push of Microsoft in the citizen developer space, it is important to rethink some of the old ideas. And one of these is integration over model advantage. The true value of AI comes from integrating models into workflows. And what I mean by that is that, okay, so we can develop new agents, we can develop new copilots, but it is important to keep in mind that to have better results in our AI as we continue having more citizen developers, the value from these is going to come from having better automation workflows and not only having the better or the bigger model that has been published out there.
So, when I'm talking to a lot of customers, I often talk to the finance department because we work with a lot of ERP systems, and so we naturally have that relationship with the finance department. And some of the things we hear is that, finance is looking for particular AI solutions, but maybe the engineering team is looking at other solutions, manufacturing is looking at a different solution, so on and so forth. So what we end up finding is different departments are kind of off in silos, building their own disconnected systems. And so the term we use to refer to that is fractured AI. So what you end up with are these litany of challenges when that happens. So you got data silos where each system is really its own unique system and they're not truly integrated, which then leads to inconsistencies in the models that are being used, inconsistencies in decision making, and really it's just inefficient because your security, your operations are all disparate at that point. So big challenges that are actually facing a lot of organizations as they try to rapidly adopt AI. So there are some solutions to those. So number one, you've got to have a governance framework that outlines standards across the organizations for data usage, how you deploy your models, and just compliance across the organization. What we also recommend is adopting a unified platform. Now, Microsoft's obviously got a very good platform, and we've worked with Microsoft for a long time. And they have a lot of different models and services that you can deploy under a single architecture. But at some point, you've got to decide on that unified platform. You do have to have some sort of centralized data management strategy. Not that you necessarily have to keep everything necessarily in one spot, but using a data lake or using Fabric are really great solutions to ensure that consistency and accessibility. And the last thing I'll say is kind of twofold. Number one, we recommend what we like to call a center of excellence. That's usually a cross-functional team. If you've gone through our AI workshops, you'll probably have heard this term, and we generally recommend about 5 people with a cross-section of IT, operations, HR, and obviously from the executive team as well, that help both align the goals of the various projects with organizational goals, enforce those standards, ensure a proper feedback loop, ensure proper training and incentives for folks, and that helps roll down to your continuous optimization, because that team will then work with frontline staff to ensure that the systems are continuously updated and maintained moving forward. So just one of the ways that we like to encourage our clients to, yeah, to really optimize their AI investment, because like we said before, that fractured AI can be a really big challenge when all the different departments are doing their own thing. So the next major tool I want to talk about is Copilot Analytics, and that really gets uh, blended in with Agent 365 as well, which I'll talk about in a second. So Copilot Analytics is a great tool that helps management assess the usage of Copilot within their organization. So it gives reports on who's been adopting it, who's been using it, and it's got some pre-built Power BI templates in there that are really, really, really helpful, because it's helping the organization measure the impact and the usage of Copilot, which then helps quantify for the executive team really, what their investment is, because sometimes that AI investment is really hard to measure. Now, if I pair that with Agent 365, that is a tool that can be helped or used for the governance and security and management of your various agents. So one tool is really more, I'll say, measurement focused, and that's your analytics. One tool is really more governance focused, and that's your Agent 365. And so you're going to start seeing these tools used a lot more, or discussed more deeply, talked about more in your executive and your IT teams, because they are really powerful tools that are going to help you actually execute on the day to day. So if you're an executive business leader, maybe an analyst, you're probably using Copilot Analytics. If you're an IT admin, if you're a security team, you're probably using Agent 365 to enforce that governance. If you are trying to decide on the, get those strategic insights on like, what we've been using, that's really more Copilot Analytics. If you're managing the day to day, that's kind of your Agent 365. So those are the kind of the two different flavors of tools that you'll see companies using to manage their AI investment. And so if you haven't heard of these two tools, you'll definitely hear of them a lot further as the year rolls on. But definitely two tools that you probably should look at implementing or leveraging moving forward if you're not already doing so.
Looking outside of the Microsoft space, in 2025, actually very recently, Google released this new model that proposes a completely different way to go about large language models. And what Google is proposing is that having models that actually learn at different rates is going to improve the efficiency of models and their performance as well. And a little bit of how these models work is that the information that they have is set up or organized in tiers. So there are different tiers, and the model is going to rate to learn at different rates in different tiers. This means that the models are going to improve with just the interaction that they have with people. And this is going to completely change how we think of large language models, because now we are not going to need retrainings as often, and the retrainings are not going to require that huge amount of data and energy that they do currently. What this means for the industry is that we are going to have more inexpensive models, and the models are going to be more effective because they are just going to effectively just learn as they interact with people. And this is just a new way of thinking about LLMs, and it changes the paradigm, the way of seeing things, that bigger is always better. In this case, this is not going to be the case anymore. Bigger is not going to be always better now.
So hopefully that was informative for everyone watching. We wanted to take, 10 minutes at the end of your year just to kind of set the stage for the upcoming year. If you have any questions, we're happy to help you out. Feel free to reach out to either our WebSAN or our RAND team. and we'd be happy to help you on your AI journey. If you know our team already, you know Oscar and I are really deeply embedded in the AI space and would love to help you, whether it be through a road mapping exercise or more of a technical execution with the rest of our team. So feel free to reach out and have a great 2026, everyone. Thanks, everyone.